identify how perpetrators or fraudsters are doing what they're doing. And there are various ways in which it can be done right now. So let's first briefly talk about the various ways in which fraudsters operate.
Sure, Alex. So let's talk about 3 common ways fraudsters operate, right? And let's start with phishing. And phishing is, I'd say, the largest problem that we need to discuss. So we have a person who's got a call from their electricity provider saying you're overdue, your electricity is going to be cut today. I'll send you a link and make this payment, right? And it's completely phishing. There's no
two ways about it. Yeah.
There's no 2 ways about it. Or it could be that a colleague of mine got an email saying, hey, this is Adhil. And sender name said Adhil Shetty. Please transfer so much money to me at this phone number. I need it urgently. But essentially, it's phishing in the sense that they are putting a psychological pressure, pretending to be someone they're not, saying, please give me the money quickly because it's urgent, right? The second kind is something which is called card skimming, wherein while you use your credit card or your debit card at a certain outlet, those details are being recorded, and these details will be used again, and your PIN is being noted, right? So you need to watch out that there's no extra machine or reader on top of where you're paying your bill.
At a POS machine.
At a POS machine, or it could be a SIM cloning, which is again quite sophisticated, but someone is reading your SMSs and then operating on your behalf. But let's put card skimming and SIM cloning as a second item. The third is, just credentials theft. So you shopped online somewhere, and those credit card details somehow made their way to a fraudster who's now using it internationally. Because I think the RBI has done a fabulous job in India, wherein without an OTP, or your PIN,
two-factor authentication.
Two-factor authentication, and it's so good, right, that the RBI put that in place. Someone stealing your credit card details can't do anything with it in India, but they could go to an international site and shop for all kinds of things, and without OTP or PIN, use it in an international site. So you've got to watch out and keep track of your transaction updates to make sure that's not happening to you.
And there's also the Ponzi scheme that I mentioned at the start, and the way that happens is really, it's been happening for years together, but funnily enough, the one factor that does not change is the incitement of greed and the promise of returns, where you're promised, and in this case that I was talking about, through a mobile application, which said, we'll give you 30 plus returns, or we'll give you 60 plus returns. You put a few thousand rupees and they give it back to you in a week's time with that kind of a return. So you're incentivized, or you feel like you can put a much larger amount, that you should put such a much larger amount, or you'll be losing out on the opportunity of a lifetime, and then they never come back.
Yeah, it operates on greed, Alex, right? Like you said, it's an improbable promise, right? I'll double your money, I'll give you 30% in a week. And they can do it maybe once as part of the fraud scheme, or twice, but then you get sucked in deeper and deeper, and before you know it, you're in the deep end. So that's why we feel, right, if you can stay away from that greed, just trust something like a Sensex or a Nifty index. And if you're making double-digit returns post-tax, it's genuinely a good return. Yeah. And over, 10 years, you're going to build that nest egg or that saving you need for your daughter's education.